I'm back, guys, here. So I'm sorry I took around more than 5 minutes. It's fine. So now today we are concentrating on three concepts. One is project phases in the cloud environment, and another one is OUM methodology. So people from EBS background, they don't have any problem because you are already familiar with the implementation setups by using the AIM methodology. So almost the same type of methodology as followed in OUM also, but there are some templates which are different compared to that options. Okay, so here is our different phases. Now we can see this is the key activities phases, and here is three options. We have Oracle responsibility, shared responsibility, and customer responsibility. So if you have white background color, that's Oracle responsibility, and you have this black color, you will find customer responsibility, and this is our shared responsibility. So mainly we will see five things in the project: design, configuration, validate, transition, and realization. So we'll find this 5 steps here. It is mainly. So in the project design, we will see the plan project, conduct kickoff meeting, scheduling the workshops, conduct functional design workshops, conduct technical design workshops, conduct a design review, and develop security and validation strategies plans, and conducting the implementation checkpoint. So this all are the shared responsibility. It comes under the shared responsibility. It means as an implementation partner, we and also the Oracle and the client also will be involved over here. It is. And plan of the project and set up applications, upgrade steps is purely the Oracle responsibility. So as a team member, so exactly like most of the people who has taken the training from me, and most of the people will be applying as team members. So where exactly we'll be involving in the project is, and here we'll be working load and validate the data. Here we'll work load and validate the data, and also building integrations part and any extensible options and security implementations. We will find that's Oracle responsibility. And also we will be working with the validation setups, preparation of validation setups, and being the functional and as well as technical. We'll see load and validate the data. So migration and all in the transition method it comes. In the transition method it comes all this area. So prepare for training is an customer is supposed to get training manuals. How can, for example, if it is human capital management, we are supposed to give the front-end navigation training to the end users, and as well as for super users. They are supposed to understand the navigation part. For example, hire employee, terminate employee, transfers, global transfer, mass updates, rehiring employee, applying options, applying employee self-service information, this type of goals configuration. And also we have to give the training for human resource specialist, HR managers, how to configure the performance templates, how to configure goal templates, goal plans, and how the talent review meetings will be conducted, how the succession plans will be prepared. This type of, I'm telling HCM point of view. When it comes to the supply chain management also, we will see the different end user transactions like requisitions, purchase orders, and the RFQs and negotiations, quotations, and also sales order creations, booking, invoice, transactions. So this all are supposed to comes under the transactions. So we can say that we are involved in the area of validate and transition method for data migration and data validation. So as usual, we'll be building the setups into end-to-end setups, and also we are going for having the reports and data loading and data extractions validations part. This all we are going to have it here. It is okay. So during this project implementations options in the cloud, generally we used to have earlier the process as different. If it is on premises, the client used to supposed to go for install and DBA recruiters. This all people we used to have. Whereas in the cloud environment, the application setup is already there. So straight away we can go for having an implementation process. Okay. So earlier we were using this methodology. We were using earlier this methodology like AIM methodology, application implementation methodology. Now we are going for OUM methodology, Oracle Unified methodology. We are going to have it. It is an implementation methodology designed to be used. All options here. It is designed to be all options over here. All Oracle product implementations. We used to have these options here. So OEM supports almost for all Oracle products solutions like SOA, service-oriented architecture, business process management, enterprise design, and we can see that here enterprise security, BI, web center content, enterprise application implementation. Right now, as a Fusion consultant, we will be here. ERP application. So when we are implementing the Fusion applications to the client, Fusion HCM or Fusion supply chain management or financials to the client, we'll be following this OEM methodology. We'll be following this OEM methodology over here. It is. Okay. So mainly OEM is focused to manage, provides tools and techniques to manage the project. And in the Envision part, development and maintenance of enterprise. So most of the cloud projects, generally whenever we go for an interview, the clients and the interviewers will be asking like how many months you took to implement the project. So generally what Oracle says, 3 months to 6 months we can implement Fusion any domain, either HCM or supply chain management or financials in the SaaS environment. Okay. So 3 to 6 months, and after that, obviously, there will be an support required for the client and maintenance. It will be continued. This all options over here. So in implementation, we are going to use frameworks to develop and implement Oracle-based business, and we'll be following this OEM methodology. I'm just giving the comparison between AIM documentation, whatever the AIM documents we used to have, and what is the alternative document in the OEM methodology, and the name of that particular OEM document name, and exactly in which phase we are using that particular document. Are you using an inception page, elaboration, and construction page? Exactly in which phase we are using that. So in AIM methodology, I hope you are already clear. If you are a technical guy, you will be using the options like MD70 documents and TE20 testing documents, and CV40 and CV60 documents we used to have for conversions, mapping document for this conversions. So in that place, we have this DS140 design specifications. Just a minute. We have DS140 document here, and TE20 is it is already continued as it is. CV27 we are using for data conversion, like spreadsheet data loader. We have different data loaders in Fusion applications. In that scenario, we'll be using that for spreadsheet data loader and as well as for FPDA options. This all will be used. And MD50 we used to have for functional design document, and we have analysis model and analysis specification. This. And generally, when we are working as a functional consultant, we are supposed to define as is document and to be documents. So as is document means the current business flow, the current business functionality design, whatever we have, that we'll define it as is document. And to be document is like the expectation, what exactly the client is expecting and what is the gap between these two. So as is document and to be document will find. So that is very high level business document. We'll see here RD20. This current process model we can find here. It is. And we can see the system testing and integration text here. User guides generally not required for us. So here, this is the task name in OUM methodology. In AIM methodology, this is the task name. So here in AIM methodology, we used to have RD50 and BR100, gather business requirement design acquisition setups. We used to have this option here. This. And now we have here, MC40, conduct functional design workshops. So we'll be finding the workshops conduction. So in the workshop conduction, what we'll do is we'll try to explain the product. For example, if you want to go for sell this product to your client, this is a cloud project, you are supposed to conduct how you can go for provide. For let's say you want to show it to your client, how the employee can check self-information. So we will log into the applications. This is the self-service environment. Employee can log in and can access personal information from the navigator. And in personal information, you'll be able to check the personal. This is how we will conduct the workshop. We will not be discussing about the setups to the client, because the business users, they cannot understand the business setups of the product. They'll be able to understand only the front end business, how it is showing the applications. You can see employee personal details, employee contacts information, and employee is able to access the self information here. Employee absences, employee payroll, nothing but view the pay slips generations, and employee talent management like performance, goals, and all vacancies. This all you can. And if I would like to generate the pay slips, here it is. I can check the pay slips all here. So if it is HCM, if it is human capital management option, you are going to conduct a workshop. Module wise, we are supposed to show how the end user can experience with that particular module. That's called workshop conductions here. So let's say the employee would like to know the hierarchy of the organization. So my organization chart. And it's like here we can see the organization structure. We will be able to access the employee information and also the who is the manager and who is the next who are reporting to the current employee and what about their positions. This all information we can access. Entire directory access the organization chart. So we can go for sort by title. Like this, we are supposed to conduct the workshop to the client. If the client's comfortable, okay, I can easily access this application and user friendly, and I am able to access this. All Brian Joshop and director of payroll, how many people are directly reporting? Total people are here. It is. This all we can find over here. It is. So that's how the conduction happens here. The workshop conductions, here it is. So the gather business requirement, define application setups. This is the first place where, first point where we are going to gather our requirements from the client. So in AIM methodology, we used to have BR100. Now we have MC40 document. We have MC40 document. Then we used to define MD50 and MD70, where we used to have application functional design document and extensional technical design document. Whereas in OUM, we call it as a conduct technical design workshops, DS145. And TE40 is for system scripts we used to have. And we have here, it is validation scripts, TE25. So application setups, BR100. It comes in the business requirement document here in the starting, and also we'll see here MC50, MC40. Both documents will be used for the setups. And this is what I told to be documents. This is what I told it is to be documents here. Develop future process model, BP80, and we are using RD11, update business process model. Okay. So these modules mainly will be using. So when we look at the previous slide, we will see the list of OUM methodology documentation, but we don't require all this. Only these documents we have to remember for reporting. Okay. So anybody is having doubts here in the documentation part, OUM methodology? I will share the documents to your Gmail IDs, as we have already, almost all the people Gmail IDs we have. Definitely will share it through that sample documents. As it is a confidential, will not be able to show the document directly in the session. Yes. Okay. So this is how we will be able to find the options for the project different statuses and the OUM methodology. OUM methodology documentation. There will be something called questionnaire. So there will be something called questionnaire. So whenever we are working in the prison applications project, we'll go to setup and maintenance here, and go to actions and go to offerings here. So whenever we say we would like to go for configure our procurement module to the client, select. So not only procurement, you select the order management or project financial management or HCM, workforce deployment and development. So we'll see almost all these options over here. So we can find. So whenever we choose the procurement option here, so whenever we go for procurement, we can see the table, and here is very important documents. So the advantage in the cloud implementations is whatever the setups you are supposed to configure for that particular module, Oracle has given that list. That list is provided by Oracle here. Setup, task lists and tasks. So directly download this particular document in Excel format or HTML or PDF. And there we can see the list of setups we are supposed to perform step by step. In fact, Oracle is developing another tool in the cloud itself. The moment when we are doing the setups from the front end, in the back end, the system will prepare the document automatically. The document will be prepared automatically. Like in enterprise structure, that feature is already provided. We can see that built-in template we did in the last sessions. A technical summary report. When we are configuring an enterprise structure, the system is going to prepare this template internally. So only the logos, any format you would like to go for modify, that can be modified. So the remaining part is completely system is prepared. Okay. So this Oracle would like to do the same type of feature for remaining options also. For remaining options also, they would like to implement. So their maximum time will be saved in the cloud projects. Documentation maximum time will be saved. Now, if I go for download this Excel sheet, which will show the list of setups which we are supposed to perform for procurement module, and we can see associated features and related to the business objects. This is general information about the enterprise applications. Let me open this. Okay, so let me open the Excel sheet here. Now here Oracle has provided what are the functional setups we are supposed to configure for the procurement module, and the task list, task type, and the description, which module. Some of the common options are there. For example, once you create a user and assign the role to the user, we are supposed to run one process called LDAP process. LDAP process, Lightweight Directory Access Protocol. So this particular process will upgrade or update your roles information in the application security tables. And we can see that those, like for example, you are supposed to configure currencies and currency rates. That we will do it from the ledger, general ledger. And reference data set, it comes from the middleware. This is to share the reference, to share the referential data sets information. Geographics, it's mainly related to our trading community model, CRM, it comes here. And file-based data import. So we will find all the setups. Oracle has provided almost all the options to go ahead with one by one. Here it is. Okay. So in case if the client would like to go for implement the HCM, HCM is nothing but a three parts, right? Compensation management, workforce deployment, and workforce development. Okay. When you are preparing for interview purpose, this is not required actually. Nobody will ask you, tell me the list of task names. But obviously, they'll ask you in the interview what setups you did for so and so module. So in procurement module or product information like inventory module or DO, distributed orchestration order. Okay, in that modules, what roles you assigned, what setups you did, what problems you have faced. If you say I'm from EBS background, tell me what difference you found between EBS and Fusion. So where exactly you can see that new features are introduced in Fusion. Like this type of questions will be expecting from the interviewer. If I go for workforce deployment and development, deployment is nothing but our core HR. We can see the setups task lists here. You can go for Excel format. Fine, guys. This is for HCM, Human Capital Management. What setups we are supposed to perform. This all we can find here. It is related to the payroll and benefits and time labor. This all options. Okay. So and then business objects. Whatever business objects we want to configure, like jobs, positions, grades, then it will be used here. It is. So in case if we are implementing options management model, we are supposed to configure options plan, options reason, and options usage rules, and eligibility profile, profile category. This all grades, bank accounts. Bank accounts are common in, even we'll see in account payables and financials module also, we can see that options over here. Okay, fine. So maximum we can see the project documents related, we can see, and if the client is looking for any OUM methodology, we can go for configure. Here it is. And once we do the setups in our functional setup manager, we can go for export the setups here from actions. We can go for our setup data exporting into our Excel sheets, and we can go for import. Yeah. So for example, when we are working in the real time, it is very quite common that the client will be using development instance, testing instance, and production instance. And we are supposed to go ahead with different setups, whatever we have configured, copy, import, and export from one instance to another instance. So that time we'll be using these options here. And whenever we go for import and export, then we can also go for comparison of our setup data. And we can see our implementation status. This is general option what we have seen, offerings option over here. Okay. So this is the project wise what we have to see, and the documentation. OUM documents will be very simple, not much complex, especially when we are working in the cloud environment. The clients will not be expecting much the documentation part, as it is built in some of the documents. We can directly deliver the objects to the client. And still, but we are supposed to have it, because when we go for an interview, they'll obviously ask you, tell me what documents you prepared and what are other documents you have prepared and what documents you are compatible for preparations. This all it is. Okay. Fine. Just now when it comes to the resume point of view, so I think for supply chain management, we have postponed to another week. So this week is for the human capital management. So let me open the document here. So I'm just changing some confidential information in the document. Fine. So when you say you are a HR consultant, human capital management. Then you are supposed to mention what is your role in the cloud environment. Are you a functional consultant? Are you a technical consultant? When you say I'm a functional and techno-functional, then they'll expect definitely the next question, are you full-fledged functional or technical also? We are going to say that here, I'm a complete functional consultant, end-to-end functional, and also having some technical knowledge over here. Also having the technical knowledge over here it is. Okay. And obviously the next question comes, what are the modules you are clear? Global HR, options and talent management and global payroll. And fast formula, security management, data migration, spreadsheet, payroll loaders. These all are related to the technical part. Integration of the applications, data loading, data extractions, BI reports and all this. We are going to have this option here. It is. We are going to have this options over here it is. Okay. So then if it is supply chain management, then we'll be mentioning the order management, procurement, and also we are going to specify the other modules like inventory and product information management and supply information management. This all we are going to specify over here. And then whenever we mention the client, we are supposed to mention which version of the cloud you are implementing to your client. Release 12 or 13 or 11. So last 1 year, almost all implementations are in 13. Before 1 year, we used to have release 12 and earlier release 11. So most of the success projects we got from release 11, 12 and 13 only. Before release 11, we could not find much successful implementation. So if you say you are in the cloud last 3 years or 4 years, 3 years, then definitely we can say release 11, 12 and 13. Maximum this. And the latest version is a release 13. Current project which we are working as an implementation of 13 and what modules you are implementing over here. And explanation about the project, the client, whoever is, you are putting the client name and you are supposed to mention what exactly their business, which legislations they are doing the business and you have implemented. And also you are going to specify the mode of the business. They are into pharmaceutical or manufacturing or construction exactly. And what is your role and responsibility? As a functional consultant, we are supposed to implement the modules to the client and we are going to gather as is documents and we are going to prepare to be documents and we are going to gather the gap between this. And also as a team member, we are responsible for the setups and also the security console, configuration of roles, securities. This all we are going to have it. And we will be having different types of fast formulas in options management as well as in the payroll modules, element input validations, this. And obviously there will be a CRP1, CRP2, depends on the client's requirement. The setups or modules will be configured over here it is. So we are going to deliver that options here. So that's any module. So if you want to go for specific configuration, yes, we can do that specific configuration. Like in global HR module, we have configured how to perform the global transfers and how to configure the transfers and temporary assignments type of things can be included over here. It can be included. Every project, whenever we are mentioning in our profile, we are supposed to mention what is our role in the project and which version, what modules we have implemented, and what is our responsibility functional wise and documentation wise, and specific requirements. If you want to go for specify, that also can be mentioned over here. That also can be mentioned over here. It is the same information you are going to get it in the second project also. Any project will be going, and obviously the live support we have to provide to the client. Generally in HCM, what type of issues will be getting in the environment is, for example, the client says that I created an options plan and I also created eligibility profile, but the plan is not enabled for an employee, a specific employees. Generally, we will run the process to attach the plan to all eligibility employees. But after running the process also, the plan is not attached to the employee. So what could be the reason? So you are supposed to verify that, and you have to check eligibility profile, and you have to verify the employee properties, that eligibility, personal properties issue, or employment properties issue, or derived factors. Like that, you are supposed to check the property setups, and finally we are supposed to close the tickets. Let's say client will say, we terminated an employee, but still user is able to log in. It means you are not invoked the user access, but I would like to do that. But already termination is done. Termination is already done. So from where I can perform that activity. So person management, manage work relationship. This type of issues will be getting. Let's say we prepared one goal plan and assigned. And now I am not able to access this goal plan from my performance template. Plan is ready and it is active. And we also assigned this to our eligibility profile. But the plan is not populated in my performance management. What could be the reason? So this type of supporting questions will be expecting in the interview point of view, as well as in the projects also. Okay, so that we should be clear. So implementation, obviously we can explain that what are the implementations we are doing it. Like if I say one particular module, so what setups will be configuring, that we will specify. So I think during the training session, we have already discussed sequence of implementation setups, especially when it comes to from RTL online training. We have already provided, if we say human capital management, 5 modules. Each module Excel sheet has already provided to every applicant the sequence of setups. So you work for any client in the world, the same setups we have to perform in the real time. Maybe we will give more creations, but the list is similar. Same sequence order, we will go for configurations. So you are supposed to refer that particular documents. Same thing for supply chain management. So we already provided sequence of setups we are supposed to perform, and sequence of roles you are supposed to assign, and the testing documents, so that you have to apply it. Okay. So when we go for an entry also, same steps we have to explain. So if they ask you, like, tell me, how will you configure the options management module to your client? We will say that we'll create accrual periods, derived factors, eligibility profile, options reasons, options certifications, options plans, and options types. Then assign this options plan to the employee, and employee will try to log in and apply for an options and get approvals. And same way, if client will ask you, like, tell me, how will you go for configure withholding tax invoices in account payables? So obviously, first we have to configure the supplier as a tax hold authority, then configure withholding tax codes, and then attach these tax codes to the supplier site level, and then go for create an invoice. Then automatically system will prepare the withholding tax. Like this, when we go for an interview, they'll tell you, if I want to configure the standard purchase order invoices, what are the pre-setups we are supposed to do? If I want to configure back-to-back sales orders, then what are the setups I am supposed to take care? If I want to configure pay and receipt, like when the invoice should be automatically created based on receipt, so then how you can go for set up the document. So this type of questions will be expecting that we should be ready as a functional consultant. So when it comes to the technical in the cloud environment, there will be only 4 options. Only 4 options. One is reporting, another one is data loading, data extraction, another one is a personalizations. In the reporting, as we discussed, we will see BI and OTBA. Data loading and data extractions, both will call it as integrations. So in the integrations, very simple tools we have, spreadsheet data loaders and FBDA and all. Data extractions, especially in HCM, human capital management, we have the option called HCM extract. There are some built-in user entities directly we can use and extract the data. But when it comes to the financials and supply chain management, we don't have that feature. HCM extract is exclusively for human capital, not for financials, not for supply chain management. So in financials and supply chain management, if at all you want to extract the data from the Fission cloud environment, there are two options. One is you can build a BI report or OTB analysis, or the second one is you are supposed to go for web services methodology, where BI cloud connector concept is there. BI cloud connector. By using BI cloud connector, you can go for an extraction and schedule the process, and which will automatically extract the data from the cloud SaaS environment. Okay. And the personalizations. So this is the technical part in the cloud SaaS environment. If you are 90% of the projects are SaaS only right now, 90%. Only 10% of the projects are going on in the platform as a service. Here we don't need to worry about, because Oracle will give you open access to the database, open access to the file server box. You can connect directly to the database through some tools, and you can build your package by using some extraction packages like UTL file and all, and you can go for extract the data directly, and you can go for validate your data and load it. Only from the SaaS environment only, this all integrations and the limitations we have. Then you are supposed to interact every time with the Oracle and get that particular API or get that particular adapter and connect to your cloud and integrate and try to perform your transactions. In the platform as a services, you don't need to worry about anything. Oracle will give you the complete access. Directly we can go for writing this all. So that's how it will work. Okay, fine. So tomorrow we will see the data loading options and BI cloud connector at 7 o'clock. Okay, so we'll explain. And I think RTL students already we have email IDs, and we have already shared the sample videos, and you can contact RTL students are already in WhatsApp group. So please drop I think your email ID is also there. Whoever is required your individual profiles, drop in WhatsApp group. We'll share it through that. Okay. Thank you. Let's see you guys tomorrow, 7 o'clock. We'll see tomorrow. It will be only 2 hours, 7 to 9. Maximum 2 hours will take, and we'll go ahead. So this all videos, I'm not going to share through Google Drive. I'll be uploading into the YouTube directly here. Please subscribe to this option here. Directly you can go for download, or you can from YouTube you can go for watch it. Thank you. Thank you everyone. Thank you for your valuable time. Around 3 hours you have spent with me. It was a pleasure to have interaction with you guys. Thank you.